Hi there, fellow humans, and welcome to Just Another Human. I am Mihu, and I am here to bring you some of the craziest, funniest, and downright strange stories from my life. Whether it's a total random mishap or something that just makes you wonder, how did that happen? You will find it here. So sit back, relax, and get ready, because this is just another human.
I've visited Hiroshima this week. I've been there more than 30 times because I love it, especially Kure City. It's my favorite place. I once worked on an IoT project with students at the Kure National Institute of Technology. They were around the same age as me, so we quickly became good friends. They knew a lot of things I didn't, and I was very impressed by them. Also, my family has roots in Ehime Prefecture, just across the Seto Inland Sea. So whenever I saw the Seto Inland Sea, it feels like my blood starts to sink. One of the funniest things I saw this time was a boy wearing a Dodgers jersey and a Hiroshima Cup cap. He was showing off his team conflict with his whole body. What comes to your mind when you think of Hiroshima? I guess many people know it as the first city in the world where an atomic bomb was dropped by the United States. Like many others, I learned a lot about war, nuclear weapons, and Japanese life during that time in school. Hiroshima was a common destination for school trips, and I was one of the many kids who visited in 6th grade. Back then, I secretly wished we could have gone to Tokyo or Okinawa. Instead, those places sound way more fun. Even though I've been to Hiroshima many times as an adult, that school trip was the last time I visited the Peace Memorial Park. So this time, I went back there. While walking around the park, I remembered several moments from my childhood. I met a man who was a hibakusha, a survivor of the atomic bombing. He told me in detail what he saw, felt, and did at 8 quarter past that morning. I wrote a report about fallen victims of the bombing. I folded origami cranes to pray for peace. With my classmates, I made a kamishibai, a paper theater story about nuclear weapons for first grade students. We created it to push back against our teachers who only wanted us to read a picture book. After our presentation, one of the teachers said, "That was pretty good." That experience made me a little cocky, but also inspired me. It was one of the reasons I became a designer. I realized I enjoy making complex topics easier to understand. Another unforgettable memory. One of my friends cried when she saw the realistic dolls of bombing victims in the museum. Their skin was blackened and peeling from the heat. There were sounds of crying and fire all around. It was too intense for children. Later, those dolls were removed when the museum was renovated. There was a public debate about whether they should be kept or not, but I think they were important. They helped us understand how horrifying the bombing was, and even 15 years later, I remember them clearly. When I was 19, I once said to my friend from Kure, "Hiroshima has such a nice river. I want to jump in during summer." He immediately said, "You mustn't do that. That river carries sad memories." After the bombing, thousands of people jumped in, desperately seeking water. I felt so ashamed. Ignorance is one of the most dangerous things in the world. The worst part wasn't that I didn't know. I did know the story about the river, but I have never really thought about how locals might feel if they saw someone swimming there. Realizing that, it made me feel deeply ashamed. And at the same time, I realized how important it is to respect local customs, especially when we are visitors. At the end of the museum, there are exhibitions about nuclear weapons. I couldn't understand them all when I was younger, but this time I could. After Hiroshima, I went to Kure to visit the Tetsuno Kujirakan Iron Ore Museum. It introduces the history of submarines and their role in removing drifting mines. You can even go inside a real submarine. Next, I went to Okunoshima, which was also a destination on my school trip. These days, it's known as Rabbit Island because over 700 wild rabbits live there. But why are they there? Okunoshima has a hidden history. During the war, it was removed from maps because Japan was secretly developing chemical weapons there against international treaties. The rabbits were used for experiments. Through these three museums, I realized how important Hiroshima was as a military base in those days. The friend who traveled with me this time asked, "How do you remember all this so clearly?" I didn't think I had such a good memory, but then I realized that school trip really left a strong impression on me. I've never wanted to forget how it made me feel. It's all thanks to the teachers who prepared us before the trip. Now that I'm an adult, I'm even more sure when you have background knowledge, travel becomes much more meaningful. Learning new things is one of the best reasons to go on a trip. So now, I'm reading a book about Australian history for my next adventure in English. Follow me if you'd like to cheer me on.
Thanks for listening. Until next time. Bye bye. Sayonara.